Well, hello and happy Tuesday to everybody. Looks like Mookie is the first one in. Hello to Sly family out in the land of the internet, right? Well, we are in a different location tonight. We are from beautiful Las Vegas, right? So I wanted to show y'all, I've only been here one day, came in yesterday, and I wanted to show y'all some pictures I took. Obviously, I'm in the hotel room and staying at the beautiful, this is so cool, the El Cortez, right? And this is your room key. Is that not just the coolest thing ever? Uh, After she put these on us, I'm like, well, do I get a room key? And she's like, no, that is your room key. And it's kind of cool because to come up to, I'm on one of the top floors, you have to have this to activate the elevator. So that's kind of cool. Uh, and there is Mr. Rogers. Hello, Scott. How you doing? Vegas, baby. Yeah, I'm in Vegas. Yesterday I did really good. Today not so much. But yeah, it's okay. It'll all even out by the end. By the time 2 weeks is over, or I'll be completely broke. One of the two. I'm not sure. But so I took some pictures just so you guys could feel as immersed as I feel. Right. So this one, we'll start with this one. This is we're taking off. This is the Tulsa International Airport, and I am kind of a white knuckle flyer. I do good at the going fast part. I love that part. But then when the wheels leave the ground, I get a little shaky. Just until we get up in the air. Once we're up in the air, everything's great. But we get going really, really fast, and then the plane starts to leave the ground, and that's when my stomach goes, what are you doing? And then the higher up, I don't like heights, so the higher up you get, the worse it gets, right? And that is basically the Tulsa airport. That's how big it is. It is kind of the airport and then all the outlining hangars and private planes and all that good stuff. And so speaking of, it was, if you notice in the last slide, it was kind of foggy, and it stayed that way the entire trip. So we got above a cloud bank, and then there was more clouds above us. So there was clouds below us, clouds above us. It was just very cloudy the whole trip over. And then this, I know this is a really bad picture. Obviously, it's taken from inside the airplane. But I wanted to get your guys' opinion about this. I believe we are over either Arizona or New Mexico. And there's all these, like, craters. And I'm not sure what they are. They look like little mini volcanoes. So it's like a big mound of dirt with a crater on the inside. I tried to zoom in on it, but you can't really see it very good. But if you guys know what those are, please let me know. And then we got to Las Vegas, and we wanted to go out at night and see the lights. And there's what they call a light show, which is really cool. But this is just kind of walking down the Fremont Avenue, which is kind of, I don't know if it's the Strip, but Fremont is really popular. You can see some of the casinos back there in the background. I wish I knew the names of all these for you, but unfortunately I do not. Why won't he come off? I don't know why he won't go off. There we go. Okay. So that one's out of order. Okay. No, it's not. What happened? There's that one. Okay. So this is the light show. And you can take a zip line. You see, I don't think you can see my pointer, but if you can, there's these three guys that are zip lining, and they zip line through this thing. And it's supposed to be like all immersive. Once you're up there in the zip line, it becomes all immersive, right? Now from the ground looking up, you can see everything on the ground. But supposedly when you're up there, you are in the moment, right? and that just looks like it would scare me to death. But this thing changes, and so coming back, it was dice, but it was casino chips. It was kind of a random mosaic looking thing, and it went on for about, I want to say, about 2 city blocks. And it's amazing because it doesn't matter the weather, if it's raining or not, it keeps you dry. And there are street performers out there. There was a guy that actually put himself in a box, a very, very small box. He could dislocate many things on his body. And he folded himself up into a box that was probably about 2 foot by 2 foot. So very, very small. And then he climbed out of it. And then there's people that were doing, there was a Chippendale show, and then there was showgirls, and there was just all under this light show. And you're supposed to, throw money at them or whatever. And so pretty exciting, pretty exciting. Mookie says, live from Las Vegas, how was the flight and what is the weather like? So today it was absolutely beautiful. There was still some clouds in the sky, but there was a lot of sun coming through. It was like, I don't know, 70, mid 70s. Absolutely beautiful day. Beautiful weather today. Yesterday was very, very cloudy and gray all day, from Oklahoma all the way to Nevada. So, and there's Randy. Hello, everyone. So I think this is, I did a couple of tests, like really early on, because supposedly this room doesn't have enough bandwidth, but it seems to be working. So you guys let me know if I'm glitching. And Scott says roulette, right? Yeah, I don't really play table games. I'm more of a slot machine type person, but yesterday I did pretty well, and today not so much. Miss Evelyn made it. How are you? Hello, and I'm glad your flight went well. The flight was a piece of cake. That we left early. We got here early. No turbulence to speak of. I mean, it was just really smooth sailing, and that's the kind of flight I like. Mookie says, I can't imagine what that power bill looks like, right? Their grid just must be ginormous. And Scott says, you will definitely see boobies downtown. Well, yeah, one of the Chippendale guys came up and gave me a big old hug, and you see a lot downtown. So he tried to get me to take my picture with him, and I'm like, and the people I was with were just like trying to pull me off to the side, and so, yeah, I appear to be a small town girl, even though I'm not from really a small town. I'm from a small state. How's that? Kind of a backward state. Yeah. So I was just walking around just in awe of everything, and I think everyone could tell, right? So, but today we are at one of the hotels in downtown Las Vegas, and then we will go back out to Henderson, and I don't know where I'll be coming to you from next week. It'll still be in the Las Vegas area. I'm just not exactly sure of the location as of this exact moment. So, but we'll try to figure it out. So, are you guys aware that DJI has dropped a new mic? Haven't got my hands on it yet. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be tiny. So the old mic that I have the whole set of is small. It's about half the size of the Rode. Well, then they came out with a smaller version. Well, it's not smaller. It's just a smidge. It's a smidge bigger, but it has a lot of features that the original doesn't have. Now they've come out with the Mic Mini, and it too is Bluetooth. That was the attraction to the Mic 2. Well, the new one is Bluetooth as well, but it's tiny, tiny. So I don't know that it has all the features of the Mic 2, but I probably will order at least the transmitter because it hooks up via Bluetooth to the Osmo 4 and 5. So I've had my camera out a lot the last yesterday afternoon, evening, and then today. So Randy says, when I visited last time, we were stuck in traffic for 4 hours before I took a side road to get to our hotel. It kind of depends on, number one, what's going on in Vegas. They just not this past weekend, but the weekend before, they had the Grand Prix national thing or whatever, and traffic was horrendous. They're still dismantling that, and so it's pretty much traffic as usual right now. Which, depending on where you go, yeah, it is pretty populated, like a lot more so. But if you get to the outlying areas, like some of the outlying towns around here, they all have casinos, and the traffic's not as bad. So now I will be spending Thanksgiving out here, so we had to go and get all the Thanksgiving stuff, and that was a nightmare because we went to Costco and it was packed. They had plenty of food left, so we got everything we needed, but it was just jam-packed. Mookie says, what camera were you using, or was it a cell phone? So some of that was shot on a cell phone, and some of it was shot on the Osmo 5. So I kind of, on the plane, I had both of them, but I used my cell phone. And then once we got to Vegas, I used the 5. So Scott says Area 51. Yeah, if I was kind of on my own, I might like get out and see like the desert and stuff. But number one, the lady I'm visiting is not at all able to do that. She loves to gamble. And so, in fact, they're waiting for me downstairs. So as soon as I finish the live stream, I'll be joining them for a little while. She doesn't like to stay out too late. So, but so I'm kind of limited as to what I can do in that respect. So Randy says, yes, been getting emails and ads on YouTube. Yeah, it's I'm going to check it out. I mean, it's like $59, I think, for just the one transmitter, or $169 for the whole set. Now, again, the set comes in black. You can get the transmitter in white, and I kind of like the white microphones better. I just think that they don't show up as much. But I don't think the Mini has the internal recording, which it's nice to have a backup. I don't know that I really use it that much, but it is nice to have the ability for a backup. Lewis says, Sly, are you in Vegas? I am. Be here for 2 weeks. And good to have you, Lewis, buddy. Hello, Sly and friends. Randy got me looking at DJI cameras again. Have a happy Thanksgiving. So, Lewis, right now, you can get a steal on an Osmo 4. They are down to $200. Now, I think it's a little bit more if you get the Adventure Kit, which I highly recommend because you get the 3 extra batteries. But it's the batteries alone are expensive, so it's probably worth it getting the Adventure Kit. But $200 for that camera is a steal. Randy says, championship boxing match, and we were there for Celine Dion. That must have been one of her last shows, unless she's performing yet. I can't keep up. They say they're retiring, and then they don't, and, so I can't keep up with them. Scott says, eat at Secret Pizza in the Cosmopolitan. If you can find Secret Pizza, it's very good. Well, that's cool. I don't know what the Cosmopolitan is, but I didn't know what El Cortez was. So, yeah, this is one of the old gangsta type original Las Vegas hotel and casinos, and it's right off Fremont. So, in and amidst all the old gangster, the old OG, right, or the OG, the original gangstas, yeah. So, it was kind of funny. The Lake Mead, where everybody gets their water from, is down so low they've found 5 bodies. So apparently the back in the day, the mafia would throw their kills in the lake. Lewis says, should I get the Osmo 4 over the 5? And what mic do I need? So if money is a consideration, I like the 5. I like the 4. If money is a consideration, and I was trying to do this on the cheap, okay, here's what I do. I would get the 4 and get either the mini, which I have not tested that out yet, but it's $59 versus $99 for the Mic 2. But I would get one of those because they pair with, you don't need a receiver. The transmitter pairs with the camera via Bluetooth. So the 4 is a good camera. The 5, it does have some overheating issues, but base price, you're looking at a difference between $200 and $350, so $150 difference. So if you're counting pennies, I'd probably go the 4, because how many people record for an hour at a time? So there is that. And if you're recording outside, you probably won't have, like, I've never had the 4 overheat outside ever. It overheated on me at Christmas. It was inside. It was constantly running for, it must have overheated right about 20 minutes or so, because it shut off when I went to reset the Canon. I noticed it said it was overheated. So, I had multiple cameras angles going, and it was okay because the Canon picked up where the Osmo shut off, but and so it just made the video, I took it up from the Osmo until it shut off, and then spliced in with the Canon. So, I mean, it worked out okay, but I've never had it overheat outside. So I'm thinking it was because there was no air movement. Who knows? Randy says the Osmo 5 fixes the 4. It addresses the overheating issue. It has I believe, a double stack sensor, which I'm not really sure what that does. What I'll tell you from using them is the 4 is much better in outside daylight, and the 5 is better inside. So yes, you can adjust the aperture and the ISOs and all that stuff, but you never, because I've tried them side by side. The 5, because I usually shoot in 1080-30. The 5 does not like 1080. So you kind of have to go up to 2K. I think it's closer to 3. It's like 2700K or whatever. Or 2700, I guess. But it doesn't really seem, the 1080 looks bad. So as soon as I replayed it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not using that. So then I put the 4 on the same setting, the exact same setting. And at apples to apples, the 4 does better in daylight and the 5 does better indoors. Now, yes, you can adjust the settings to make the 5 do better outside, but the 4 still outperforms the 5, in my opinion. And the 5 outperforms the 4 indoors it needs very little light. So that's just, my take on it. If you leave it on auto and you take them both outside and you take them both inside, the 5 is much, much better inside, and the 4 is much, much better outside. Now, if you want to adjust your settings every time, which I don't, so I have both cameras, so I use the 5 for indoors. I only brought the 5 with me because, one, I was kind of short on space, and 2, most of what we're going to be doing is inside. So there's a thing with the casinos, they don't really like you to film. You have to get special permission and all this stuff. And since I'm only going to be here tonight, yeah, they would rather I not film. So you can kind of get by if you take your cell phone and do a little bit, but they've got security walking around and they're like, would you please not film? So, yeah. So, Lewis says, I think I want it to be fixed. Okay, well, the 4, there's nothing wrong with the 4. I mean, I have used the 4. I've had it for, I think, a year. And it only overheated that one time. It's never done it since then. And you can, now, the difference between the 4 and the 5. You can hook up one transmitter to the 4, 2 transmitters to the 5. And you can hook them up Bluetooth. So if you're going to be performing with somebody all the time and you want them to be mic'd up, then yes, get the 5 because you can hook up 2 transmitters to it. If you're a solo act, then the 4 is fine because you only need 1 transmitter. So Scott says, if you walk downtown near the city hall, you'll trip over all the homeless. They are everywhere. They are out here pushing carts with all their belongings, and you feel for them, but they don't look that miserable, to be honest with you. Yes, I've already seen my share where I'm at. They're all over down here. So it's kind of like downtown Tulsa has its share of homeless too. So that I was not unfamiliar with. What I was unfamiliar with is all the street performers, because we don't have street performers. Peter says, wow, you made that set look terrific. Congratulations on superb talent on your part. And the glasses make you look so smart. I better keep quiet. Yes, you better had, because you wear glasses too, mister. And this way I don't have to squint and try to read the comments. Randy says, I didn't hear the answer to Mookie's question. Mookie, what camera? Okay. So in the plane was cell phone. And then when we got to Las Vegas that night, those are shot with the 5. So I had the cell phone too, but I think all of that was shot with the 5. So Jim made it. How you doing, Jim? Talking to Scott, so sounds like it would be fun to do a Vegas trip with you. Hi, Sly. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving week. Enjoy Las Vegas, right? Yes, so the turkey is bought. All the fixings are bought. And I will be making Thanksgiving dinner Thursday. So I actually do a pretty good Thanksgiving dinner. So we got this. Lewis says, enjoy Vegas, Sly. Have fun. Happy Thanksgiving, friends. Definitely leaning towards the 4 on mine. Lewis, I think you'd be perfectly happy with the 4. You can adjust everything to make the 4 better in low light inside. And when you turn it off and you turn it back on, it's still set to that. So you can. It's just if you set it to auto, the 4 does better outside. I'm just saying. Peter says, double stack sensor. A sensor made of 2 parts. One part has all the pixels only. The second part has the electronics that records and sweeps all the data. It makes everything much better. Yeah, I just know if apples to apples, oranges to oranges, you set both cameras on auto at exactly the same settings, the 4 is better outside and the 5 is better inside. Normally it is just me, and I got a steal on the 5. That is why I have the 5, because I got like $150 off on it. So if I had not found that, then I probably would not have picked one of those up yet. Because for the most part, most of what I film is just me mic'd up. And if I need 2 mics, I've got the original DJI mic with the 2 transmitters and the receiver. So I can use that if I need to. It's really, really nice not having to attach anything. And with the Osmo cameras, if you attach a microphone, they are no longer waterproof. So because I'm around water a lot, I really wanted to keep the waterproofness intact. Now, I understand the microphones are not waterproof. I get that. But the sound quality of using an external mic, the internal mics sound great. The external mics sound even better. So that was kind of a no-brainer for me. Yeah, okay, so if I tip over the kayak, I'll have to, replace the microphone. Much cheaper than replacing a camera. Lewis says, Sly, you look well rested and healthy despite the long flight and travels. Love you, Sly. You're the best. Love you too, Lewis. Thank you for saying that. I have been having a blast since I got here. It has been very much a de-stressor, right? Because we have just focused on having fun. And last night I was exhausted because of the time change. My body hasn't quite figured out that I'm not in Oklahoma anymore. And kind of feel like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Not in Kansas anymore, And so by the time we got to bed, it was really only about midnight. But for me, it felt like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was a little tired last night, but I slept in this morning. And we've done nothing today but have fun and relax. And so it has been a very de-stressful situation. Scott says, yep, Jim, this channel should do a Vegas meetup. Hey, I'll meet you guys anywhere. I love to travel, and this is one of the reasons. There are 2 other YouTubers that live in Vegas, and I have plans to meet both of them. So that'll be kind of fun. Randy says, what camera are you using for this live stream? Because it looks fantastic. Are you using a laptop? What gear besides the cell phone and 5 that we know about? So, yes, this is the camera on the MacBook Air with the M2. And I got the M2 over the M1 because it had the better camera. So, I have got live streaming remotely down to where I don't have to carry hardly anything. A laptop, obviously. The microphone, which doesn't take up very much room. I bought that tiny microphone and it sounds tiny. So I just went ahead and brought my full size. But this setup it doesn't take a lot of room. And I do have it on the mic stand, which folds up and you don't, in fact, I lost it. I thought I brought it with me. I was almost sure, but I couldn't find it. And so I had to unpack everything, and there it was in the bottom of the suitcase in its little pouch, which is, very small. And so I've really got it down to an art to where it's just a very, very small setup. Now, thankfully, and Peter, thank you for the compliment on the set, because the desk in this room is very dark. It has a light over each bed and a light over some pictures on the wall that, there's not very much room between the bed and the wall. Where the desk is, there's a big TV in front of it. There is no light whatsoever. It is very, 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 very dark. So I was kind of freaking out because the only light I have is the little Ulanzi that goes on the side of the action camera. And it was kind of dark. And so I just happened to be walking by to look out the window. There's a vanity right here. Well, if you look in the mirror, you can see you can see the lights in the mirror. There's a vanity right here with 2 LED lights that go up the whole vanity light. Perfect lighting, right? Because I didn't bring any lights with me. Let's put it that way. The only one I brought was the one to go on the action camera, and I brought that as kind of I probably won't need it, but I'm going to bring it anyway. And so the only thing I brought was the Action 5. That's it. Thank you, Sly. I never use 4K. I shoot in 1080 and sometimes 2.7 because of the file size. Exactly. So you can shoot in 4K, and by the time YouTube compresses it and does everything they do with it, it's probably not in 4K anymore. So I just have always shot in 1080. I made the mistake one time. I had 2 of the original Osmo Actions, and one was set to 4K and one was set to 1080, and the file size was ginormous on the 4K. So I'm not sure how big the file size is going to be on the 2.7, but the 5, just the picture in 1080, it's fuzzy. It just does not look good. So there's that. There's my Lewis. How you doing, buddy? Hey, everyone. Glad you could make it, sir. We're just kind of hanging out in Las Vegas this week and just kind of doing our thing here and having a good time. But I really enjoy seeing you guys every week. So you guys are important to me. Jim says a meetup would be amazing. Count me in. Yeah, we'll just have to kind of figure where everybody lives and find a middle pinpoint. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people live around Las Vegas, so I'm thinking it would kind of be Kentucky, Tennessee for a meetup would be kind of centralized for like me and Randy and Scott and Jim and, Jim, Lewis, you can go get Peter and bring him. Lewis says, what mic are you using? It looks and sounds amazing. So these, I have tried. In fact, I just sold the Rode pod mic, right? I have tried so many mics and so many interfaces, and I think I still have 3 interfaces, and I have a multitude of mics, and most mics are set up out of the box for a man's voice. It just is what it is. Now you can add compression and you can, try to tweak it, and I think some of them sounded okay, but I could never get the really clear sound I wanted. So this little mic right here, Lewis, see if I can show it to you right here. It is a Fifine. It's just their little $30 microphone. And I don't know, I think it just sounds pretty good. And it is just next to nothing, right? It comes with its little stand, which I have another one of these that I use overhead at home. And so I don't use the stand. But for my little travel ensemble, it's just right there, and it plugs in USB to my, I don't know why I can't show you that. That OWC travel hub. It takes the thing for the mouse to make it wireless, and then I just plug the microphone into it and plug it right in the computer. It does have a card reader on it, which is good because I'm having some pictures made for my friend I'm staying with for Christmas, and we're going to have them framed and everything, and of some people that she loves, and so that's, when as you get older, you have everything, and so pictures become important because you have everything else, right? How many blenders does somebody need? How many toasters? I mean, you have everything. So she's going to be 92 next month, like in 2 weeks, and she has everything she needs. She doesn't need any more blankets. She doesn't need any more coats. She has everything. So I'm going to have pictures made and framed, and because they bring on a whole new importance as you get older. Lewis says, hotel stream. Yep, you got it. You can see the bathroom. I remember when I was decided to use this spot, I remember you doing a live stream from a hotel bathroom because it had the best lighting. And believe me, I had thought about just taking the chair in the bathroom, and then I saw this mirror and I'm like, nope, that's where I'm going to be sitting. So it's all about lighting, guys. Peter says, that's what it is. The lighting looks incredible and expensively soft. People would kill for soft light like that. Yeah. It's a vanity light that you're supposed to put makeup on with. So it's fairly bright, but it's off to the side so it doesn't blind me. It's not like the light is right in my face. I was trying to figure out how to get that one light that's little, teeny tiny, to sit on top of the computer, and it was completely blinding me. And with these being set off to the side, and there's two of them, it's perfect. Lewis says, when are we meeting, Sly? Hey, I'm up for any time, buddy. Yeah, I'm always up for a trip. And if it's close enough, I'll just drive. If it's further away, I'll fly. But yeah, I can go anywhere. And Jim says, Nashville? Nashville is fun. Yeah, we could do Nashville. Scott says, I'm cool with Vegas or Kentucky. I think Scott would like Vegas. So depending on where you live, I always fly Allegiant. I just, you get, they're cheap. Okay. You get to pick where you sit on the plane. You get priority access. You get to take I do not like carrying luggage. Okay. So, but I was going to be gone for 2 weeks this time. So I needed a little bit more than a 3 or 4 day trip. And so I checked a bag and I don't have to worry about it. I walk in literally 30 feet from the curb, check it in. I don't have to think about it again. And then from the luggage carousel to where I picked up the Uber was not that far, and it's on wheels, right? So it just, for me, it's the easier way to travel than to try to take a carry-on. If you take a carry-on, you have to lift it up and put it in the overhead thing. Now, this is great if you're only going to be gone for 2 or 3 days and you're not taking very many clothes. But I'm going to be gone for 12 days. So I have a lot of clothes. And with it being colder, a lot of flannel shirts and a lot of jackets and, sweatshirts. Not so much jackets, but the hoodies and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm up. Lewis says, whoa, it's a USB mic? Yes, sir, it certainly is. And it's like $30. Yeah. And I think they just sound amazing. So I would have argued until I was blue in the face that a USB mic would not sound as good as an XLR mic. And I was proven wrong. So Randy says, Rode Podcast XLR mic echoes, so I bought the Shure MV7 plus SLR and USB, and it was still echoing. Using the USB-C, fixed it, and figured the Rode Streamer X was the problem for the sound interface. So, one of the mics I bought and sent back was a Samsung that did both. It did XLR and USB-C. The problem, I think it was USB-C. No, it was XLR and USB-A. The problem was it sounded okay as an XLR mic. As a USB mic, it was horrific. It sucked. So I sent that one back. The Fafine, I've tried the more expensive Fafines that are XLR and ran the interface and did that whole thing. I ended up getting a A10 Mini, and I think it had issues with the sound because I was running all the sound through that, and I was chasing my tail, just round and round and round. And with this, it does have a little, let's see if I can just do this. So it's got a little gain knob right there, and you can just set it to whatever you want. I have them both set, the one at home and this one, about the same place. So it's about probably a little over 3/4. But I think I've never had an issue with this. And when the microphone goes bad, it's $30. I don't care. So the Shure mics and the Rode mics are a lot more money. And I'm sold with how the Fafine sounds. Lewis says, Randy, you're not a fan of that new mic you got in USB-C? And thank you, Sly. I need to learn how to pack minimal, including clothes and equipment. It's hard. It's very hard for me to pack minimal in clothes because I tend to wear jeans all the time. Jeans are heavy. And so even if you wear them for 2 or 3 days, because I'm not really doing anything to get them dirty, but going from casino to casino, I smell smoky. And I don't want to wear smoky jeans 2 days in a row. So there's that. But they are heavy, and hoodies are heavy, and so I pack a lot lighter. Like when I came out in May, I packed a lot lighter than what I packed this time. But that's why I pay the checked baggage fee and go on about my business. Randy's saying to Lewis, Streamer X is lousy for the XLR interface. The Shure MV7 Plus sounds excellent. Pretty bad that the USB-C is better than the XLR. Yeah, right? Especially when you think you have to pay for the interface and you have to, pay for the XLR cable and this thing, it's all in one and you just plug it in. So it's great. And Roy made it. Good day, Sly. Good day, Roy. How you doing, bud? We're just kind of hanging out, talking about cameras and what have you. Microphones a little bit. DJI has come out with a new one. And, it's it's tiny. And, I like tiny. So I'm sure it will end up in my repertoire, the white one. Because even at $60, if you buy the whole set in black, it's $169, which still is a pretty good price for I think my deities were close to that. So, but I like the sound of the DJI. So the two that I have sound really crystal clear, and I like the charging cases. And I'm not sure I like the receiver on the Mini. But if they pair Bluetooth and you can just charge the transmitter itself. Now, having said that, let me get this right. On the 5 and the 4, I guess. Okay, the 4 does one transmitter, the 5 does 2. You can go into the camera itself and adjust the volume of the microphone. So I have found that on both the 4 and the 5, having them hooked up through Bluetooth, somewhere between 70 and 75 is perfect. You get much over that and it sounds like it's kind of blown out, and you get much under that and it gets kind of too quiet. So on both the 4 and the 5, but that could also be camera specific. So, it's just something you have to kind of test. But both of them, and I'm terribly happy with the fact that I don't have any wires. I don't have a receiver on the side. The 4, you have to, and the 5, you have to take off the door on the side to hook up the receiver. Now, you can put it on the cold shoe on top and run your wire down, which, I've tried that too. I've tried it with a lapel mic, and it absolutely no difference between the little mic that is magnetized and it sticks on your shirt wherever you want it, and the lapel mic. So with the Mini, I'm thinking the size is about the size of a lapel, and you literally could just stick it right there and nobody would even know you have a mic on. Now, I don't believe it has internal recording. If it does, somebody correct me. I don't think it does. But if you don't need that, and it's so tiny, it would just sit, and I don't think people would know what it is. You literally could put it under, where your shirt turns over. You literally could put it there and nobody would even know you have a microphone on. So I just think it's really cool. It will also hook up Bluetooth to your phone. So you can get your phone kind of a ways away from you and you still sound crystal clear, which I don't know. I just think that's a really cool feature. So, um, so I'll be getting the little, at least the little transmitter. Maybe not the receiver and the whole set, but the bare minimum's the little transmitter. So they are on, I think, pre-sale right now. You can order them through DJI, but through Amazon and B&H, it's pre-sale. So Lewis says, made me think about my new setup and what I want to do with it. Thank you, Sly. Can't wait to try. So Lewis, if even with your cell phone, which is a pretty good camera, if you had the mic, you can hook it up Bluetooth to your cell phone, set your cell phone to record you, and then do your thing. And wait on getting an action camera, right? Just get the little Bluetooth mic. As far as I know, DJI is the only one that makes a Bluetooth mic. I have kind of looked to see, because there are a lot of mics out there right now. There's always a lot of mics out there, but there's a lot out there that are saying, we do this and we do this and we do this, and we're way cheaper and they specifically compare themselves to the DJI, but I don't believe any of them do Bluetooth. So there's that. Lewis says, I'd get the mic too because I'd rather put a lav in there, and also I like the 32-bit float as well. Okay, that's, fair point. I really don't have, unless I mic my grandson, which I have learned not to do. I really don't need the 32-bit float. I don't really scream into the microphone or, now, having said that, if I was to record myself playing a slot machine and I won $20,000, I might scream. I just, never know. Or I might just sit there and go, hey, I won 20 grand. Yeah, I'd probably be screaming. It's just one of those things. But, and that is true with the mic, with the original or the mic 2, you can put a lav mic on them. But right before I left, I did a test with the mic 2 transmitter with a lav mic on it, just to see if the sound quality was any better. That was funny. And it wasn't. So I don't know that you need a lav mic. Now, if it is clipped, as opposed to the magnet, and you're really dancing around and, moving and shaking, I'm thinking the magnet part might fall off. But I have seen people have it on their t-shirt and run through a forest and it not fall off. So yeah, I don't know how energetic you would have to get for it to fall off. Lewis says, I'd get the receiver as well, Sly. Let's go Team White. They don't make the receiver and transmitters as a package in white. You have to buy the black set and then buy a white transmitter, which I'm not opposed to, because there are sometimes, if you're wearing a really dark clothes, like your avatar has a black shirt with a dark jacket, then you would probably want the black. But there are other times where maybe you're wearing a white shirt that you would rather have the white. But the set only comes in black, and then you have to order the white separate. So, and I like white. Lewis says, Sly, I think there's room for both, and it's still cheaper than buying the whole kit. You sold me on the mini. I was going to skip it. Thank you so much, Sly. You're the best. Well, for $60, it's worth a shot. That's why I said for $60, it's a no-brainer, and I'm definitely going to get the transmitter, the mini transmitter. They're supposed to ship it out, I believe, December 2nd. So, which is Monday, I think. So it's right around the corner. They just kind of did an early release, press release type thing, and to see how many pre-orders they were going to get. So I will definitely be in the first batch of people to get them. And there are some people that have gotten test. They call them something. Before it hits the market, they get prototypes, uh, and they all sound really good. So I will try it. If I don't like it, I can always send it back. I'm kind of the send back queen. But I think for $60 for something that small and that useful, it'll definitely be the way to go. I think, and here's what I'm thinking. I do a lot of driving, right? Because I seem to be traveling a lot. I do a lot of driving, and what I'm thinking is that my car microphone is above my head, so where I can hear people really well because it comes through the radio speakers. They can't always hear me so well. It's not like I'm talking on the phone. The microphone is probably sitting about this far above my head, right? So here's my thought process. If I hook the microphone to my phone, they can hear me better. The speakers are still coming through the radio, so I can hear them. So I think it'll kind of free up, where I don't have to take the phone off speaker to talk to somebody, which will be really nice. So we'll see. We'll see if that works. Scott says, I'd scream louder for $100,000. Yeah, but you have to bet more to get those, those really big numbers. You have to bet more. One of a YouTuber that I'm friends with, he likes to bet $50 a spin, and I think he was betting $100 a spin, and he won $100,000 on Buffalo. But when you're only betting $4, you're not going to win the $100,000. So they're going to save that for the people betting 100. And Lewis says, "Oh, I want the white transmitter." You can buy that separately. And so that's what I'm saying. I would buy, which is what I did with the mic 2. I bought the white transmitter, and then if I liked it enough, then I would get the whole set, which is like $349. Okay, kind of expensive. With the mini, if I like the transmitter enough to buy the whole set, it's only $169. And you get the charging case and all that stuff. Now, once you have the charging case, you can keep a black and a white in the case and just put the other black one in a drawer. So that was kind of my thought process of getting the white first. If I like it, then I can get the whole set, and I can just put a black and a white one in there. So, yes, thank you, Scott. Beta testers. That's what I couldn't think of the name of. And they have sent some out for people to make YouTube videos on. They didn't think to send me one, but, whatever. Lewis says, "Thank you, Sly and friends. Have a wonderful, safe time in Vegas, and happy Thanksgiving to all." Yes, I think we all celebrate Thanksgiving to some degree or another, and I really, really, really want to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Obviously, I'm going to have a blast here, and to kind of give you an update, I know last week I asked for prayers for my daughter's girlfriend's mom. Well, she passed Saturday night. And so this is going to be a hard Thanksgiving all the way around for, the family. But it happens, right? That's kind of the circle of life. Like I'm the next, I'm the oldest generation in my family. So it's just kind of what you expect. You don't expect to outlive your parents. So, but so it is kind of a solemn occasion for them. And my heart goes out to them. It's hard. It's extremely hard to lose your mom, but yeah, we're in Vegas, and so we're gonna. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Right? Isn't that like a rule? But anyway, guys, I am gonna go back and join everybody downstairs and do a little bit more gambling. I won't do a lot. But I hope everybody gets a tremendous amount of whatever your favorite Thanksgiving food is. And like I said, I'll still be in Vegas next Tuesday. Not sure what venue, but I will still be here. And So I hope everybody has a fantastic holiday. Enjoy the 4-day weekend, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Good night, everybody.